the greatest player of all time. For a lot of us, he's the reason why we became Bulls fans. He was a player unlike any other, an icon, a legend, a man who globalized the sport of basketball, and of course, every kid wanted to be like him. But as the years go on, new superstars have emerged onto the scene. It's easy to often forget how we fall victim of recency bias and forget just how great Michael Jordan was. So what's going on, everyone? You were listening to Bulls Central here. Hope you're all doing well. Okay, really quick, guys, before I get into this video, and this was a fun one to make just because I'm such a huge Michael Jordan fan, but as you know, the Bulls are taking on the Pacers tonight in Indy, and yes, you guessed it, since we still haven't had a winner in predicting the score of the game for the $100 gift card giveaway to Amazon, the retailer you guys had voted on, we're trying to go for it one more time, and I have to think we'll find a winner tonight given how close we were the last two times around. So if you're new to the channel, all you have to do is give the total score for each team in the following format. If you predict the exact score of the game, I will be sending you a $100 gift card. And guys, I'm gonna sweeten the pot a little. If we get 300 likes on this video, just 300 likes, I will double the giveaway and make it $200. So let's see if we can get to that amount. Get the YouTube algorithm going so more people have a chance to give their score predictions, and let's hope we can get a winner tonight. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. Guys, I'm sure most of us saw the documentary Last Dance that came out last spring, and it was an incredible documentary that recounts the dynasty of the Bulls in the 90s. I highly recommend it if you haven't had a chance to watch it. And it was also a good reminder just how good that team was, and of course, what an incredible athlete Michael Jordan was as well. But all of the highlights aside and the championship celebrations we've seen, I feel some people still don't fully grasp just how great MJ was. I hear a lot of people saying that MJ's competition was trash and that's why he was able to win so many championships. You know, what LeBron James has been doing in today's NBA is far more impressive than what Michael Jordan did. You know, Kobe Bryant, the same type of thing, mainly after he passed. You know, people comparing between those two and how Kobe's competition was tougher than Michael Jordan's. Well, I'm not here to debate Michael Jordan and who is the better player between him and LeBron James, or even others for that matter, because the fact of the matter is there are a number of reasons, stats or records that just show how good Jordan was and how, quite frankly, there really isn't anyone that can compare to him. That isn't to throw shade at LeBron. He's obviously one of the best players to ever play the game of basketball, and I know some Bulls fans don't agree with comments like that about LeBron. You know, there is a lot of hate for LeBron across Bulls fans, but I respect his game, his longevity, and how he impacts, you know, other players on the court and his team on the court. But for those who claim that LeBron is better, or that Michael Jordan, you know, although he was great, played in a weaker era of basketball, a boring era of basketball with low-scoring games, let me just enlighten you a little on why MJ still remains the greatest player of all time. So we know that Michael Jordan is a six-time champ, a six-time Finals MVP winner, which, by the way, no other star player has done that in the post-shot clock era of basketball. And I say star player because Robert Horry winning 7 titles as a bench player does not count. We all know he was a 5-time regular season MVP winner. Again, something no other player in the post-shot clock era of the NBA has been able to do. He was a 14-time All-Star, a 10-time scoring champ, 11-time All-NBA player, a Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, 9-time All-Defensive Team player. You know, just some minor accolades, no big deal. Now, despite the fact that players are much more efficient today in terms of scoring, rebounding, passing, defense, you know, seeing players get more triple doubles and high scoring games, 50+% shooting on a nightly basis, that's much more commonplace than what we would have otherwise have seen back before the year 2000 in the NBA. But despite all of that, MJ is still the all-time leader in the history of NBA in player efficiency rating, offensive box plus minus, box plus minus. Now, I know you're probably looking at some of these numbers and saying, well, this isn't that much of a difference. But if you look at the difference between Michael Jordan at the top and still the top 10 player of all time between these categories, there is a significant gap. And that person is still 10th all time in said category. I mean, looking at box plus minus alone between Michael Jordan and Kevin Durant, who is 10th all time, that's a 27% increase. And again, players are obviously putting up much more efficient numbers in today's NBA, as the defenses aren't as strong as they used to be with no hand checking rules. The fact that players in the 80s and 90s could maul a player and have it be a common foul, whereas today it would be a flagrant 2 and an ejection, with that player likely being suspended for a couple games. It just shows you the difference between what the game was like then versus what it is now. And Michael Jordan also leads the league all time in win shares and is second behind LeBron James in value of a replacement player. Now, rather than bore you with a bunch of advanced stats, because I know a lot of people don't like advanced stats, and it's fair, some of those can be a bit misleading, but everything I just showed were just the regular season stats. What makes Michael Jordan's career so impressive is just how impactful he was in the playoffs, particularly in the finals. First off, no other player in NBA history, I mean aside of Scottie Pippen of course, has won 100% of their finals appearances. That includes guys like Kareem, Magic Johnson, LeBron, Kobe, even Bill Russell back in the day. And let me be clear, that means players, who have actually seen more than 2 finals appearances, because, it wasn't like MJ went to 1 finals and won once. No, he went 6 times to the finals and won all of those, and he did it in less than 7 games every single time. Jordan still holds the record for most points in a playoff game, which was 63 points he had against the #1 seeded Celtics. He still has a standing record in the 1991 NBA Finals versus the Lakers, when he scored on 13 consecutive field goals without a miss, which is a finals record and also a playoff record. He holds the most points in a 3-game series, averaging 45 points per game. He holds the record for most points per game in the playoffs period at 33.5 points per game, which, by the way, he also holds the regular season record in terms of points scored per game, averaging just a little above 30. And he did it as a guard, doing all of this as a guard, averaging 50% from the field. No other guard has ever been able to do that in the history of the NBA. He holds the record with 8 50-plus point playoff games, and even more impressive, Michael Jordan is the only player in NBA history to never score under 15 points in any playoff game that he ever played, and he played in 179 career playoff games. He holds the record for most points scored in a finals game, most first half points scored in a finals, and he also holds the record for most game winners or go-ahead baskets with less than 10 seconds in the playoffs. Guys, I could honestly go on and on. There's so many records MJ holds even to this day and will likely never be broken. I think the other thing that impresses me so much about Jordan is the fact that we mainly remember Michael Jordan as such a strong offensive player who could score at will, but he was also an incredible defender, one of the best defensive players in the league during his time. He won the Defensive Player of the Year. He was also a 9-time All-Defensive Player. I mean, you look at the top scorers and offensive players in the league now, guys like Steph Curry, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, they can't even compare in terms of the defensive efficiency that Jordan displayed. He was incredible on both ends of the floor. He gave effort every minute he was on the court. I know fans and analysts like to compare players from different time periods, but in my opinion, there just isn't an apt comparison to Michael Jordan for, how efficient he was on both ends of the floor, his clutch gene and ensuring he always came out on top when in the finals. The fact that when his teammates, he made his teammates better, maybe not all the time. We know that MJ was a bit difficult teammate to have if you didn't give it 100% on the floor, and that's because he was the ultimate competitor and had to see that from all of his teammates. There will never be another player like Michael Jordan, not ever. He's the greatest of all time, a legend, a worldwide known figure, and the man who made the Chicago Bulls a global branded franchise. Anyway, let me know what you guys think though. Maybe you weren't around or were too young in Jordan's heyday, which is totally fine. What do you guys think when you hear other folks saying that Michael Jordan played against weak competition, and the guys that we see today and what they do on the court is significantly more impressive than what he did? And of course, guys, don't forget to leave your score predictions for the game tonight for a chance at $100. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and if we get it to 300 likes, I'll make it $200 for the gift card giveaway. As always, be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan and you enjoy daily Bulls content, and also so you don't miss out on any future giveaway announcements. I'll have a live game chat for the game, both on the channel and on the Discord. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.